base resonator here. So I have this new dragon mold, and it's very flexible silicone. Lots and lots of details. I'm not exactly sure how I'm gonna get colors. I mean, I could do the color on just the mica and pour it in here, or try and hit some of these, like his spines on the tail, on his neck, and I mean around his head. But I am gonna place some eyes down in there, and that's right where to the right of my thumb. There's a little spot for an eye, and I have some tiny eyes. And they're almost got too much. They're kind of a purplish, mystical color, so I want that to be there. This one is upside down. These may even be a little bit too big, but I can always touch it up with UV resin over the outside after I'm done. So that's what I'm going to be trying to do. Okay, now I'm going to try and put, there is a definite line, and it's in line with the toothpick that I have here. This is a reptile, so I want it to go up and down, so his head is faced that way, so I need it to go straight in there. Now I've got a little bit of UV resin over here to the side. Just dipped it in there. See if I can get this. I need a lot more light on this subject. Oh man, I have no idea. That twisted on me. And I can't really do the UV resin from the other side. So I'm hoping I don't get, well, that makes that pink look really kind of a crazy color. I hope that stays, because I cannot cure it from the other side, because this is an opaque mold. Okay, now this next one is not helping that it's not turned over. Okay, I'm gonna pull. Got it. Hey, they got the pupil lined up the same way. Okay, now that one's in there. Let me dip this in the. Oh no! I dipped it in the UV resin and it came off on the thing. Oh, now it's wanting to slide around. I gotta get this in place. Oh, the deep. Get down in. Stay. No, get back there. Oh my goodness. If this stays, it'll be awesome. And I have somebody picked out already that wants a blue dragon. So I'm thinking, and I'm thinking out loud, this is not going to be Puff the Magic Dragon lives across the sea. Nope. Even though it looks like this texture of the base of this because it's going to be standing on a little I don't know if you can see down in there where the eyes are in place. They're not moving right now, so I'm just gonna pray that it stays. I'm gonna get that in the right spot. I'm gonna try and go along some of the spines on his back. There's a big old hole. Oh, that must be his wing. Yeah, down in there. I could give him a manicure and put some. No, on the. What I'm going to do on his toenails is I will paint those with a marker when it gets out. But you see all of these little gaps. I think I'm going to touch those up with gold. Blue and gold sounds good, doesn't it? Come right back. Okay, so I have this, I guess it's a makeup applicator, and I'm going to be using that to try and put the Intense Chameleon Gold from Let's Resin, this pack. I don't know, it doesn't say a color, but it's the green one. There's also a blue box. This one is the green box. And I'm going to be using that, and they start up here and go all around to the back. So I'm going to see if I can get it to work. I don't want to put too much into those spots because, oh, come on. Sitting there trying to, because then it'll get down in there into these little areas, and it'll keep the resin from sticking and going all the way to the edge. So what I'm going to do is rub it in there and then keep rubbing it to try and get any loose stuff out. Because if there's any loose, that'll break the area of the resin being able to attach itself. And I can already see I'm going to need to get a baby wipe to clean up the edges. Now there's already too much in that one, because I just want the points. So I'll come along with a baby wipe after a bit. Baby wipes are a real nice way to clean up excess mica. Okay, that one had too much done in there. Get out. Get out of there. Trying to talk like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yes. Watch out for the chopper. I like these Intense Chameleon powders. I like the way they, when light hits them in different angles, how they change the appearance to our eyes. The color is always the same, but the way it appears to us is different. The way it hits the back of the eye, and then our eye changes. Have you ever done studies on the eyeball and stuff? Man, they're fascinating. I have a very hard time believing that just evolved. I know some people are. I majored in biology for a while, or zoology, because I was going to go pre-med. And I was in pre-med till I saw the cadaver, and I'm like, no, I'm out of here. I don't know why I didn't go to animals. I could have been a vet, but nope, ended up being a choir teacher. Okay, so the rest are hidden up by that wing. And so then I'll go up here, up on his neck. This has so many different little textures. That's what attracted me to this mold. Got it from AliExpress. And I'll put the description of where I got it in the... I'll put the link for where I got it in the description down below. Now I'm messing around up here. I do not want to loosen those eyes. Hoping that UV resin will hold. Do I need any more mica on this thing, or does it have enough? Enough for that one? Yes, it's got enough. Okay, let me go get a baby wipe. I am getting very low on baby wipes. And it's not because I have certain ones that I use for my resin work. I do not use these on my little granddaughter. But this is my last pack I just opened up. So, okay, those are pretty clean. It's up in here that I had some spillage. It takes a village to clean the spillage. A little bit of this mica on the edge wouldn't hurt, but I'm going to try and clean it up as much as I can. Oh, you can't even see what I'm doing. Sorry about that. I just looked in the camera and I'm like, wow. So much for having the close-up in here. Now, mica and silicone love each other. But so does resin and silicone. In fact, the resin is more attractive, and it will take the... I saw some down in here. Where was it? Right there on the edge of that wing. Okay, so I cleaned it up. Gold ridge. And I am going to use chameleon flakes. Now, I have not been a very good fan of chameleon flakes, either Let's Resin or anybody else. I got some other ones that were sent as samples, little tiny pots. But my experience with chameleon flakes, whenever I go to put a brush into, because the kit comes with a little brush. Nice of them to supply that. But chameleon flakes are extremely, what's the word? Staticky. And you dip the brush into it, and you come out, and it just, it's like it explodes everywhere. And it's like, no, don't do that. I want it to go right here, not there. And so I am going to do something different. I'm going to mix up, wanted a blue. It's hard to read blue on there, but so, what does that say? Blueberry or blue blush or something like that. It's really hard to read that. That label is, maybe it says blueberry. Listen to me, blueberry. I'm gonna mix it into the resin itself and just let it go. Let it go. Let it go. I don't want to lose the flakes all over the place. So if I mix them in the resin, they'll stay put, and hopefully they'll create the same type of an effect, the chameleon effect, where it color shifts depending on which way you're looking at it, or which angle the light hits it, and which angle you are in position to see. So I'm going to be mixing this up in some resin. Not exactly sure how much this takes, but it looks like probably 3.5, 4 ounces. I'll mix up that much if I need. Well, I don't know about this base here. I'll mix up 4 ounces. If I have a little left over, I'll pour it in another mold around here. But I'll come back at you. Now, I do have a video that I have made because somebody told me that it might be important for people to see how I mix my resin, and it's tedious, and it's you are going to, you're going to say, shut up already and just show it. I know, but this person told me that some people like seeing every single little bit. I don't set a timer and mix. I have a really good sense of rhythm being a music teacher, and I count at about 80 beats per minute. And they go 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, and so forth. And I count up my pattern up. And so I'm not going to show you that on this one, but I may just clip that out, that section. And if somebody's interested in seeing how to mix up thick 1-to-1 resin so that you don't get bubbles, and you're not going to have time to stick it in an airless or bubbleless machine or a vacuum chamber because it'll cure up on you, you can watch that video. May post that as a separate entity, because standing there for 6 minutes, because I end up going about 6 minutes, 5 or 6 minutes. So I'll come back at you with everything mixed up. I want to show you this. I mixed it up, and there are little tiny bubbles. This is 2-to-1 resin. I mixed it kind of on the fast side because I have time to put it in my vacuum chamber. And I know I've talked about it. Let's go take a look at what that is. Now, I will tell you this. It is kind of on the messy side because I had an accident one time. I was carrying 2 pots out there. It's a 5-gallon tank, so it's a very big pot. But I'll talk as I walk. I have it out in the garage, and I sort of spilled one on the top, and I tried cleaning it off, but it's a solid glass cover and didn't quite make it. This is a messy garage, don't judge. Okay, so this vacuum pot, it's a big 5-gallon tank, has an air gauge on it, has a release area, and that pump is going to be making a lot of noise. This lid is very heavy. And I set it down over to the side in this special little thing. I have a little silicone mat in there, which, if you can't tell, there have been some spills, and I've tried cleaning them up as best I could, but I waited too long. Okay, so, get ready to, if you don't want to hear a bunch of loud noise, close your ears. The valve is shut. Here goes the pump. Now, it's going to take a little while. That gauge is going up. It's going to take a little while before you can see anything. It's really fascinating. I know there are some people that have that, what is it, Resiner's bubbleless machine, and it's a small little thing you can have sitting right next to you. Well, I don't have room for this big pump, and it's loud. Don't have room for it in the house with this big tank. And notice it blows. Where is it? Where am I looking? Right there. It blows this vapor out, and it's nasty. Now, it doesn't look like it's doing anything yet, but when this gets to 30 pounds per square inch, getting closer. Let me zoom in for you. Yeah, why didn't you think about doing that earlier, Mr. Tim? Mr. Tim, Mr. Tim. I was an oops baby. I have 3 siblings that are, the closest one is 9 years older. So then I came along. Oops. But my sister, apparently, well, my mom, all my family sings. But my mom, and then everybody started picking it up. She would come up with a song, Little Tiny Tim, there isn't much of him. Well, can't say that anymore. Okay, can you see the bubble action? I only saw just a few little bubbles, right? When I showed you indoors. And now there are a ton. And this is, after a few minutes, it's going to start bubbling. And you're like, where did all of that come from? They're called micro bubbles. It's very difficult to see with a naked eye. But they exist. I'm going to, because I'm holding this, I'm going to pause it and come back in just a little bit when they start bubbling. Okay, I went inside because it's stinking hot out here in the garage. But you can start seeing it's starting to boil. And you're like, where did that come from? And I'm not exactly sure what it, because it seems like all the air is mostly gone, or the bubbles. But then these giganto bubbles start coming up, and now watch it make me out to be a liar with all of them. Oh, they're coming. Here they come. Now it's starting to happen. Like, what? Where did that come from? It's crazy to watch this. But this morning early, I got up and I checked the weather, and it was 80 degrees. Sun hadn't come up yet. 80 degrees and 87% humidity already, and it's supposed to get up to 98 today, and then with the humidity that high, and out here in the garage, there's no AC. Hey, come on, bubble, bubble, toil and trouble. Start, get after it. I want those bubbles gone. Now I am pretty sure most of the air bubbles that were in there are gone. This is just the effect of the vacuum grabbing other types of molecules in that resin and playing around with it and causing this to happen. And look at that. There we go. Boom. Like, where did that... Now that is not micro bubbles. That's just the vacuum effect on this resin. And it doesn't do it so much on 1-to-1 resin if you've got a slower curing 1-to-1 resin, but then this will stop and it'll clean up for the most part. And then I will stop this. And I'll show you that process. It's really fascinating. I could stop it now. It's not going to change anything. Because like I said, that's not air bubbles, micro bubbles. That's just the vacuum effect. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come over here and shut off the valve to the pump. I'm not shutting the pump off yet. Now I will shut the pump off because it's, and I still got that vacuum effect that's inside this chamber. This glass, that's a good 1/2 inch thick, and it's heavy. Now I open that valve again, that went back to the pump, and it's not doing much. Now watch when I push on this release valve. And all those bubbles are going to go away. And as the pressure goes down, I won't be able to take this lid off until the pressure is all the way back to zero, because that vacuum has sucked that down. There is a rubber gasket, and there are different makes. There's this rubber gasket that goes around, that covers the edge of this pan. I gotta back it up. This, and that glass is stuck down there hard. I don't know if you can see how it looks like it's flat right here. Well, the rubber gasket is actually rounded, but it's got so much pressure sucking that down that it won't release. Pressure! Almost down to zero. I'm purposely keeping this magnified so you don't see the big mess in the garage. We are empty nesters now, but we have stuff from our kids' years growing up. Okay, we're down to zero. No, I still hear a little bit of, and it won't release. Okay, there we go. Set this off to the side. And we have stuff from their early years out here, which is kind of nice. Focus. What is going on? There. But we haven't decided what to do with it, and we're waiting for our kids to tell us what they want us to do. If they want us to keep it or take pictures of it and reserve it and preserve it that way, or just chunk it. So I'm going to be walking back in the house. Don't need to see all of that. As you can see, no bubbles. Which is, oh, there's one right there. It'll go away soon. I may cause a few bubbles as I stir up the chameleon flakes, but I'll show that process. Opening up the flakes. Now you'll probably see what I mean by the static. Now those are pretty, huh? Okay, I've got a spoon. Come on, just pinching my glove there. I've got a spoon. I'm gonna, any wisp of a wind. Did you see them just sort of taking off? Mm-hmm. Any wisp, and these things are gone. Not good. Okay, gotta close that up, because if I sneeze or something, then we'll have a office full of chameleon flakes. I was hoping they would just mix in there. Nice. Oh, they're starting to go. Now this resin, got it from Resin Pro, and they've got this ridiculous sale going on, like 75-80% off of their iCrystal and iCrystal 5. And I think one of the reasons they're selling it that way is it's kind of, the part B is kind of yellow. I don't want to use too much more of these flakes. They're not the cheapest thing. That looks so cool. But it's not, it's at the top. It hasn't gone all the way down in yet. This is where I would be introducing more bubbles by stirring super vigorously, but I'm trying not to go too fast. It looks cool from the top, but from the side, I want more color than that. I'm going to do something drastic. Galaxy chameleon powder. I'm going to put a little bit of that in. I ran out of wouldn't you know it? I ran out of the little pot that came with a set, so I ordered this bigger container. Now Galaxy can either go pink, or it can go blue, or it can just stay the Galaxy color, which kind of a reddish purple. So I think it'll mix with this really well. Depending on what color resin you use. If you use a black resin, it turns blue. If you use a white resin, it turns kind of pinkish. But it has that sparkle in it, so I think it'll augment or accentuate the chameleon flakes that are in there. Now this will add more color, because it wasn't opaque enough for me. I don't want a clear dragon with little speckles. It would kind of look cool, but that's not what I'm going for. And the blue flakes will probably bring out the blue of the Galaxy. Come on now. There's a pack of it right there. And if you don't mix up mica powder well, you're going to have these little clumps that will look weird. So I still have those flakes floating around, but now we have a little bit of that Galaxy in there too. It looks cool, real cool. Wipe it off so I can use my stick again. As you can see, I've used it before. That's not coming off of that wood. Okay, bring my dragon back. And I don't want to pour from too high up. And if I don't have enough, it would not be bad that I could have the base, this area here, be a different color. So we'll check it out. I'll try and go in with the foot area right here. Now against this pink, that Galaxy is looking pinkish reddish. And I can see those flakes coming out. Well, with it filling up like this, I may have made enough to do the whole thing. Now I'm going to go a little bit more so that I can get it up in his snout area. Right there, it's going down in because it goes in there a ways, and I want to make sure I don't have any bubbles left in that area. So I'm gonna, Steve McDonald, really fun to watch, a resin artist over in England. He says he gives it a squidgy widgy and a tappy wappy. Well, I just sort of, I guess this is the tappy wappy that he talks about. But I'm gonna squeeze that nose area to make sure there's no nose. There's bubbles down there's. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, my students say I'm crazy. And I'm squeezing the whole mold right now to try and release any bubbles that might have attached to anything. And but this 2-to-1 resin releases bubbles a lot easier than 1-to-1. So now we're going back to the future. Okay, dragon is just about full, and I still have more, so I'll just go ahead and fill up this, getting that tail area. Can you see it going in that tail? Oh. Pouring in. Dun 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 dun. Ta-da! Dragon is full. Now we're going for the base. Now, do I have enough for this whole base? And I'm not talking about me being a base. Wow, look at that. It's almost like I mixed it up exactly the right. Okay, 5 ounces fills this up almost to the top, and I have a couple bubbles. Oh, I just tapped the side and that went away. I did the tappy wappy, Steve. Except in South Texas, we should probably call it something like lo pegué con fuerzas. Yeah, okay. Come on out of there. Come on down. You're the next contestant on Price is Right. Hope that wasn't a copyrighted phrase. We'll find out if YouTube gets me. Help it a little bit. And since that's just the base, I'm not even going to pour any more in after that. So, good. Good. Now I have a few bubbles there that are going to be releasing. Now we'll just wait for the cure. See you later. Okay, this is cured up. I may have a little flange around the edge that I'm going to have to file down, but I don't want to pour just a little bit in there. So it's unmolding time. Let's see what's going on. Just going to check. Make sure his nose feels solid. I don't want to start pulling him out and then his nose. See, I don't know if that's the mold that's real. Because it is a thick mold. Thick rubber. He feels done. Let me start going a little ways. See what happens. Well, this is not so much a blue dragon. Galaxy didn't go blue at all. He's solid there. Well, the end of that wing broke off in the mold. Well, I can always improvise something with some UV resin. Well, that one came out okay. Good. This is a satiny type finish on this product. This is going to be one of those that once I'm done with him, I have to take him and put some lacquer on him or something. Varnish. There's a big storm coming in, so I'm trying to get this. Oh, that was his nose that got bent out of shape. Got bent out of shape. His nose got bent out of shape. So it was. Oh yeah, his wing is broken a little bit right there, but wow. Let me take it off the tripod. So I didn't get the air pockets in the spines, which is nice. But I did have one right there on the end of that wing. Bummer. That's okay, I can fix that. And now, what about those eyes? I don't see it. Why don't I see the eye? How about the other side? I don't see it. Where did they go? Where did the eyes go? That is so strange. Well, this guy's got a beard even. Check that out. Anybody got an idea where the eyes went? I don't see them. Or is that actually there and it blends in real well? How about this side? I have no idea. That is the craziest thing. You guys saw me put the eyes in. But you see, even those flakes on this didn't do like I wanted to. Well, if anybody else has an idea of how to use those chameleon flakes and get a better job, well, look at there. Or is that the... See this little shiny right here? I don't know if that's the galaxy shining through or if that's the chameleon. I think the chameleon is those little specks. He's got some pretty color to him, but I still got to work on this mold. I mean, it came out nice. I'll have to touch up his eyes, color him with marker, color his horns, fix that wing. But yeah. Where did his eyes go? That is the craziest thing. Anyway, base resonator, I'm out of here. Storm's coming in. Well, I got him shiny. I spray painted him. Got his eye. And there's actually one on the other side as well. Decorated his ears a little bit. And his toenails. And his tail. And he is shining some blue in there, which is kind of nice. But he's still drying from his spray paint. Let me see if I can turn him so you can see the other eye. Oh, zoom in there now. It's there. Yep. So yeah, fixed his wing. That's his knee on the back side. Yeah, it looks a lot better, but when you have a mold that is matte, you have to varnish it or spray it with something so that if you want a shiny finish, and I did want a shiny finish on this one. So yeah, pretty. He's got his eyes. I don't know where those other ones went. That was really crazy. So, yeah, baby. Kind of a spooky dragon, but he's done. Let me know what you think. If you want to help me out in my resin business, you can buy me a coffee. I appreciate those that already have. And I really appreciate your support. We're moving upwards towards 1,000. 1,000 subscribers. When we hit there, we got something special planned. You can look in the comments part of my page. So, yeah. Let me know what you think of this new dragon. Interesting. Very detailed. Matte. You got to take care of it if you get this mold. I'll put the link for it in my description area. So, yep. See ya the next video.